Fabulous. Recording started. Brilliant. They might give you a notification that the recording started. I'm just going to keep that open in case anybody decides to join us. So welcome. This is my first ever online tea tasting. We had a very popular Thursday lunchtime session, so I feel like I've had a little practice and now I know what I'm doing. So my name is Candice. I'm the founder of Mother Cuppa. And I wanted to share a little bit about my story and why I decided to launch a herbal tea brand. So 20-something years ago, I was diagnosed with a condition called endometriosis, which is a hormone condition. And I had a very major operation at the time and was on a lot of medication for that to help treat that. And one of the treatments was to go through a medically induced menopause, which was then reversed with hormone treatment. So they basically stopped my cycles for a period of time, treated various bits and pieces, and then restarted them again with hormone treatment, which, let me tell you, in your 20s is not a lot of fun. And I'd been on quite a lot of medication on and off for quite a number of years. And so when that treatment finished, I decided I wanted to start exploring more lifestyle, natural ways that might heal my body. This is before social media, before anybody talked about lifestyle changes. I mean, I didn't really even share my story with anybody back then because it just wasn't really the done thing. So it's quite uncomfortable talking about it. I'm not used to it, talking about it. The local library near me brought in a book. They had to order it in back in the day because endometriosis is not a condition that was commonly known. And within the book, it talked a lot about different exercises that you could do, foods you could eat, all the sorts of things we know about these days that might really help to enhance my journey. And there was a very, very small chapter in the book about medicinal plants. And I thought, oh, that's something I could try because it would feel quite tangible and I could have a bit of control over what was going in my body. So off I went to the local health food shop, which is in my local town, and it's still there. It's run by somebody else, but still there today. And the lady in there was absolutely amazing. And she knew everything about all sorts of plants. And she would give me all these weird and wonderful ingredients of names you couldn't pronounce, little drops and leaves and all sorts of bits and pieces. And she would say to me that a really great way to take this is to imbibe it through tea, just infuse it. It'll be a really great way to get the ingredients in you. So that sort of started a very personal interest in medicinal ingredients and what they were kind of doing for my body. Many years later, I purely out of saw an advert to train as a tea sommelier, and I thought, oh, that's really interesting. I'd really like to give that a go. Sort of at home mum, had a little bit of time to be able to do that. So I did my training as a tea sommelier, and I went on and specialised in blending, and was really lucky to get invited to judge on tea tasting awards. So I feel like that's really helped me to take what was very sort of horsey tasting, like it walked out of the stables, you picked from your garden type of tea blends, and try and really create something that was going to taste amazing. And like many people in the very first lockdown, I started to question the things that I was doing and what was going on in my life. Started to really think, I'd really like something for myself. My daughter was getting ready to go to university. Started to really sort of rethink life's ambitions. And I'd been what I thought was quite stressed during that lockdown. Lots of people, having lots of different things to deal with. I'd had some real difficulty with my sleep, and I started really struggling with anxiety and a few other bits and pieces that were going on. I had some problems with my cycle, and eventually I went to the GP and they said, no, this is not stress, you're in menopause and you're in early menopause. So I think I was 38, 39 at the time. So apparently very typical of someone who's gone through the treatment that I have, but it was a real wake-up call for me, and it really made me think, okay, I've started thinking about doing something now. This really is my little my next chapter. I'm gonna, once I've got over the shock of it, this is my next chapter. So here we have today the blends that you've had posted out to you, which are my 3 launch blends. So we launched the business just 2 years ago. I say we, it is me. My husband is in the background usually telling me to stop spending money and going off crazy ideas and all these things I want to do with the business. But yeah, pretty much just me. So we launched in October 22 with 0 customers and 0 knowledge on how to do social media and all of those sorts of things. And here we find ourselves with today. But I've launched with the 3 that have been most poignant in my life that I wanted to share with everybody. So the first one you've got is Energize.
Yeah.
The first thing you should be able to see when you brew this, and I'll give you a few little brewing tips, and particularly for the recording for people who are watching back as well. You can use boiling water straight from the kettle for all of my blends. I've done that really deliberately. I wanted it to be really easy. Boil your kettle, pour it in. I wanted tea bags because I feel like us ladies have got enough to be worrying about in our lives, doing loose leaf tea at 7 o'clock on a Monday morning. So you can just pop the whole tea bag straight in, and you can leave that in there. I leave mine in there the whole time that I'm drinking it. And sometimes I might top it up. This is quite a small cup that I've got here, so I might top it up with a little bit of water. You should normally get about 2 cups out of each, 2 cups out of each tea. But you really want to play around with how the flavour feels for you. So I'm going to talk about some of the ingredients in a minute, but one of the ingredients in here has got a bit of ginger in there. So the longer that brews for, the stronger that ginger becomes, and it can really pack a punch the longer it's brewed. So if you're finding that a little bit overwhelming, just take the tea bag a little bit earlier. You need to brew it for a bare minimum of 3 minutes, and then just have a little play around with that, and it gives you the optimum temperature. And you can have a little taste while I'm talking, Sally. So cheers to you on a Friday night. Having a lovely evening. So in the Energize blend, the main ingredients that you've got are ashwagandha, schisandra berry, hibiscus, beetroot, and as I said, a little bit of ginger. So we've got this beautiful red colour which comes from the hibiscus. So I hope that you can really see that vibrancy of the hibiscus coming through there. But the power ingredients in this blend are ashwagandha and schisandra berry. Some people have heard of ashwagandha before. That's something that some people have heard of, but maybe schisandra berry is not as common. Now, they are known as adaptogen plants, and their job is to literally help your body adapt to the internal stresses that it's under and try and keep the body in equilibrium. So that's going to have 2 benefits on the body. The first one is it's going to help keep our body in balance and not fatigue too quickly. And for anybody who's going through hormonal changes, that's going to help to try and keep those hormones in balance. The hibiscus is going to help flush toxins from the liver, which can be slowing the body down. And the beetroot is where we get our natural source of energy from. And there's some really amazing studies that they've done with beetroot. They use it quite a lot with Olympic athletes on endurance and sustainability throughout their workouts. So I felt like if it was good enough for Olympians, it was good enough for us ladies. And in my emails and my social media content, you will hear me talk quite a lot about my choice to be completely caffeine free. And so I created the Energize blend because I still wanted something that was going to give me that real pick me up in the morning and get me going. But what you won't get from this is, like coffee, coffee gives you that great surge of energy really, really quickly, and you feel quite buzzing from it. You won't get that from the herbal tea. But what you won't also get is that jitter as the caffeine is wearing out of your system. So this should really help to sustain your energy in a really, really natural way. Typically drunk in the morning. I've got some ladies who are also enjoying it as a little pick-me-up in the afternoon, to help see them through to the end of the day. But because it's caffeine-free, you can drink that any time of day. So that's going to be really helpful. And one of the questions I had at Thursday's session was, oh gosh, is caffeine really bad for hormones? And, what's that kind of doing to us? And I think it's a really personal journey. Some people just are never going to want to give up their morning coffee. But what I've suggested to people is, if they are having any difficulties with sleep or anxiety, have a little go at trying to cut the coffee down, because it can really add some great value to your body to take the caffeine out. And there's some interesting studies about how long caffeine stays in your system and so on and so forth. So you've certainly got a lot more ingredients that are more beneficial to you through the Energize. So how do you find that one?
It's beautiful. I love the flavour. The colour is amazing. Yes, it's absolutely lovely.
Yeah, absolutely. This one also, because we are on the second hottest day of the year, sat here drinking boiling cups of tea. This one also works really, really well as a cold brew. So the best way to make a cold brew is to get a sort of table size water jug, pop a couple of tea bags in there, put the boiling water on it, let it really steep, leave the tea bags in there and put it in the fridge overnight. And in the morning, take the tea bags out, and then you've got a really refreshing drink. I've got a lovely mocktail recipe book that I'm working on at the moment, which I shall be sharing with everybody. You can pop a little bit of extra ginger in there, or some orange if you want to enhance some of and make it a kind of tropical evening drink if you want to, or on these really hot days. But I'm a girl who likes a hot cup of tea.
Yeah.
Definitely. Right, we'll enjoy this, Sally, together. Fabulous. Right. Whenever you're ready, if while I'm talking you want to start brewing the second one, which is our hydrate blend. I'm just going to have another slurp of that Energize, because I'm feeling like that today, end of the week. A lovely little pick-me-up. So the hydrate tea is probably the one I drink the most of throughout the day. It's kind of my go-to tea blend. And the ingredients that we have in this, the main ingredients in this one are rhubarb, elderflower and elderberries. So rhubarb is also known as redbush. It's a South African plant, and it's really great at helping to retain hydration within the body. And elderflower is really good for your skin hydration, and elderberries help to regulate your body's temperature. And the reason that we have this blend is that much of my journey with endometriosis was around managing inflammations within the body to help ease the pain that I was struggling with at each of my cycles. And what I found and what I've done through my research over the years is discover that making sure that I'm hydrated can have a really big impact on that. I did a talk last night with a really big group of ladies, and I sort of said to them, how many of us can think of a time where we've, run in to grab a glass of water and kind of downed it, and we've been a whole busy day doing all sorts of bits and pieces and thought, oh gosh, I haven't had a chance to have a drink yet. Well, there was a study done around hydration levels. You can Google this. This is, something that's easily available online. They did a study on the general population, actually. It wasn't just on women, on their hydration levels. And they found that the majority of people are about 2% mildly dehydrated at the best of times. And so I think whilst we're all much better at drinking and making sure we're getting fluids in our system, I still don't think that we're getting enough. And then we have ailments, brain fog, headaches, fatigue, tummy upsets, all these joint aches, all these lovely things that we've to look forward to as we get a little bit older. And I really feel very passionately about making sure women are reminded to maybe get a bit more fluid in and see if that can make you feel a little bit better. For any ladies that are joining the call after tonight and watching back, who are in the throes of the perimenopause phase of life, where your estrogen is dipping, estrogen acts as a sponge to the body, and so as it dips, it takes a lot of hydration with it. And it's when you hear ladies talking about sort of itchy eyes, dry skin, dry this, dry that. I won't mention what. Actually, that's your estrogen levels taking a lot of hydration from the body, and then we'll throw in a few night sweats and a few flushes, and you're just a bit more dehydrated in losing those fluids. So this is a really reminder to ladies to drink more. Yeah, she's really popular.
Really nice.
So quite different to the Energize in flavour. You should get quite a flavour profile with all of the tea blends, actually. So you'll find that the first sip, as you sort of finish the first sip, the flavour profile in your mouth changes. I've described this one as warm and creamy. And I can't explain to people on video why it is. It just is. Almost creamy. Probably the most traditional tea tasting blend that I have. It's a little bit more delicate. Got quite a sweet aroma to it, but not sweet in flavour. I hope you'll agree, Sally.
No, yes, yeah, it's not.
And do you normally drink herbal teas? Are you a herbal tea fan?
Yeah, I do drink herbal tea. I allow myself one coffee a day, which is morning, and then after that it's just herbal tea, or lots of water I try and drink. But this is really lovely, this one.
Yeah, really nice. So obviously from a hydration point of view, water is always there literally is nothing better than water. But herbal tea is the next best thing because it's an infusion of water. So it's a really great way to add some flavour in, make sure that you're getting lots of hydration. But like I say, we've got that lovely ingredient of the rhubarb that is going to help retain hydration. And then we've got those beautiful ingredients. So elderflower and elderberries are traditionally used in Ayurvedic medicine, which is Indian medicine. So its history goes back centuries. I've had the real privilege of recruiting and working with interns from India, actually, and they tell me these wonderful stories of their upbringing, and mum is always just creating them some concoction with teas, and that's sort of always their first point of medication before they go down the medical route. So I thought that's always been really interesting to me. I'd love to go and spend some time out there and enjoy that. This is a really nice one after you've done some exercise. So again, really helps to replenish and those lost electrolytes from any exercise. And obviously we've got this really lovely weather at the moment that we're enjoying. So making sure that we're drinking a little bit more. But yeah, this is this will be my go-to one throughout the day.
Yeah.
We have a lovely skincare clinic that I work with, and they serve the tea to their clients, and in the summer they put it in a great big jug with loads of ice, one of these little taps on it, and they put a load of lemon in the top of that, and they just said they get lovely feedback off of their drink. So yeah,
great idea. Yeah, I'm going to try that.
So another nice one to really enjoy. And whilst you're sort of enjoying that, let's brew up the relax. Now, one of the things I want you to do before you pour hot water on this relax, and I hope you notice it as you open it, is what it smells like, Sally.
Oh, wow.
I was hoping you were going to react like that.
Yeah. That's beautiful, isn't it? Is it?
Yeah.
Kind of chocolatey. It's kind of.
It has some cinnamon, apple, and pear that's been caramelized together.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so we start with the caramelization process, so it gives it this really, really beautiful aroma to that blend. I've done that really deliberately. I wanted this tea to smell super, super intoxicating and just make you want to take loads of lovely deep breaths. And the reason for that is when I was struggling with my sleep and anxiety, my sister had bought me these beautiful hand sprays and pillow sprays and eye masks that smelled of anything that was sort of trying to help relax me. And I really thought, gosh, I really want to make sure that when we create a tea for relaxing you, that it gives you this real comfort from the smell. I've later found out that there's a real science behind aromas and smells for relaxing the body, for calming the mind, for helping to shift your mindset. I've met quite a few sort of people who blend aromatherapy oils, and they've shared some amazing information with me around that. So there was method in my madness when I was creating the blend. And I had this real vision that you would just going to grab my cup here while we're talking, that you would sort of pick the blend up nice warm, take lots of deep breaths as you're breathing it in. And actually I get a lot of feedback from ladies sort of saying, before I've even drunk the tea, I'm already starting to feel my shoulders relaxing and really enjoying that beautiful smell that comes through. So just close your eyes for a few minutes. Imagine you're in a lovely hot bubble bath and you've got this lovely smell around you. So this ingredient has some natural anxiolytics and natural sedatives. So anxiolytics are natural anxiety relievers. The sedatives are not enough to be knocking you out. I'm sorry for sleep evading any of you. The purpose really of this tea, the main goal of this tea, is to really nourish your nervous system, really bring calm on the body. Some of those ingredients will interact with something called GABA, which is in your nervous system, and that just sort of tells the body to quieten down and to calm. So typically this tea is drunk at the end of the day, but I created it for myself because I was struggling with this period of overwhelm, anxiety, and there's a lovely practice that is called mindful tea drinking, where you're really mindful about inhaling the smell, sitting with the flavour, really feeling the warmth in your mouth. I've got a lovely email which I share very regularly around mindful tea practice because it's such a nice. And the thing I love about medicinal teas is that it's just so easy.
Yes.
You don't have to become vegan or change your whole diet or go to the gym 5 times a week. We all drink a lovely hot drink every day, and we can just swap out a few bits and it can just have such a different experience on our bodies. So yeah. So what do you think of the flavour of this one then?
Yeah, I love the flavour. As you say, it's really calming. The smell is amazing. And I guess once you start drinking it in the evening and your body gets that message that I'm going to relax, I'm going to go to sleep, then the next time you do that, it kind of triggers that again, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It's used to that. It's
really absolutely. And herbal tea really should be. It's a really great point to make, because if you're going to get the benefits out of herbal tea, you want it to be part of your routine. I don't profess to be able to solve all of your life problems with one cup of tea, and 1 cup of tea is not going to get rid of all symptoms that people might be struggling with, but it is about consistency. I use this really great example when people ask me how long does it take herbal tea to work. You can't eat one salad and fit in your size 10 bikini.
Exactly.
So you're never going to get 1 cup of tea and it'll solve everything. It's about consistency over time. The Relax blend you will feel the benefits of this one very quickly. It's probably the quickest blend with the benefits in it. You should start to really feel calm almost instantly. The Energized blend, that varies from woman to woman. So the ashwagandha can take a little bit longer to work, and for some ladies that can be up to 3 months, some much quicker. The way I know it's working for my ladies that are purchasing from me is when I get a little message in my Instagram that says, "Oh my goodness, I'm about to run out and I've started panicking. Can you get me on first class? Can you upgrade me to first class delivery?" And I think, oh yes, now it's working for you. Now we know, because you're turning for it, you're looking for it.
Great.
So that's a really, really great way to tell if a herbal tea is working, because you're kind of craving it. Now, just a couple of sort of things about the tea bags and whatnot, which you might find very interesting. So the tea bags are 100% compostable and biodegradable. They're this triangle shape because that allows the leaves, the whole chunks of the ingredients that we work with, to really move around in the tea bag, and that really infuses really well, and you get all of the benefits from it then. So when you're finished, that can go straight in your home compost. You don't need to take it apart or anything like that. And it's worth noting that it makes me very sad, but there are some high street brands, when you go to your local supermarket, that still use plastic in their tea bags.
I know, that's a big problem, isn't it?
Big problem. One tea bag can contain up to 11.6 billion nanoplastics, and that's all going in your system.
Yeah.
And when I talk to my ladies who are having terrible trouble with hormones and feeling a little out of balance, we really don't want plastics in our endocrine system, which is the system that is kind of helping our hormones to work really, really hard for us. So we want to really look after that. And then when we don't want that in the toxins in our liver, sort of slowing our body down. So those are really, really great. And also this, when you get the box of them that comes through, it's in what looks like a plastic wrapper. It feels like plastic, it sounds like plastic, but it's actually made from wood pulp. So that means we've got no plastics infusing into the ingredients either. And again, that can just go straight into your home composting bin. And then we use water-based inks on the packaging, so that makes it 100% recyclable. So you can just pop that straight in your recycle bin. The blenders that I work with did a little test, and they dig holes around their blending warehouse, and they bury people's packaging, and they test how long it takes to disintegrate. So we've got a good record of our packaging disintegrating, but I would really like you to enjoy the tea first before you go digging holes in the garden. One of the questions I was asked on Thursday's session was, where do I kind of get the ingredients from, and how does that all work? So up until launching Mother Cuppa, I was making all of the tea blends on my kitchen table, and I've got a little tea station which is now behind me here with my little cupboard with my bits and pieces in. I can't possibly make the amount that I'm now producing, and also I can't put them in the tea bags at home. So I work with a blender that is based in the UK, and they're really amazing. They take my recipes and help to mass produce them and put them into the tea bags for me. What I really loved about working with them is they do some things that I physically can't do as a new business. So they go out and vet all of the farms that we purchase the ingredients from. So we can trace, when you look at the tea bag, every single ingredient in that tea bag, we can trace it straight back to the source. So they know the farms that they're purchasing from. And what they've done is devised a kind of quality sort of kite mark award, so they can go out and vet the farms, because in the tea industry, it has a fairly bad reputation for maybe not looking after its workers so well, sort of often overworking people, and we're purchasing often from countries that are not affluent, that have got different rules and regulations to us. So the blenders really check on things like that. So it feels like we're doing good things by purchasing the ingredients that we purchase. What else was I going to tell you about? I think that's about it.
You've covered so much. It's amazing.
Yes, I hope that you found that
really interesting. I love it. Yeah, I love the flavours. Yeah, and I love to hear, from a female founder, what your story is behind it. And yeah, it's great. It's really interesting.
Thank you. Really enjoy. Well, I've enjoyed sharing my story and meeting other women. And often when I share my story, there's women that say to me, "Oh my goodness, I have endometriosis," or "I have a bit of anxiety when I was struggling with something." And it makes you feel not so alone. And I think my journey 20-something years ago was very lonely.
I'm sure.
Didn't share that with a lot of people. So yes, it's really nice to surround myself with other women just like me. The most popular blend on the website is the Relax blend.
Okay.
So I can't decide if that's because us ladies really need to relax a little bit more.
And that sort of has a knock-on effect to the sleep, doesn't it? If you're not relaxed, you're not going to sleep, and then the next day is tricky.
No, and ladies who are, are working with young children and they've got maybe health things going on as well. Just we're all a little bit burnt out, I think, sometimes. So I'm pleased that one is most popular. We have recently launched a new blend.
Can you say that? Yeah, the Clarity. Yeah, I did see that online.
So sorry it wasn't available for the samples, but she's only just been released in January, and I don't have the design ready for the samples yet. So I'm hoping to add that in the future. She's quite special, this blend. I don't know how long you've been or where you found me from.
Quite recently, yes. So
okay.
But it did
sound. Where did you hear about Mother Cuppa?
So I follow Anna Marie Goth on Instagram.
Oh yes,
and I just love what she's saying about well-being, and then she mentioned you, and I thought, oh, I'm going to follow you.
Have you been to one of her breathwork sessions?
No.
Oh, they sound amazing, don't they?
They really do. Yeah.
She's quite local to me, actually.
Oh,
she's not too far away, and actually she was involved in helping me to get this blend off the ground.
Oh wow.
So what we did, because I'm such a new business, and because I can't believe how naive I am in my midlife chapter about how hard it was to start a business. I very quickly ran out of money because you get stuck on this very minimum order quantities, and I think I had to order sort of 20,000 boxes of each blend as my first order, and that was all the money kind of gone. We've seen real quick growth, which is amazing. But I've had to keep restocking everything, and I've ended up in this funny old cycle of trying to keep with the growth. And I really, really wanted to create a new blend, and I had this vision for Mother Cuppa that the customers that were drinking and enjoying the blends would be part of the design of the future ones. So we did a survey last year, and I asked people, what do you want from a blend? And it was a sort of checklist. And the most common thing that was asked for was a blend for brain fog and concentration, which I can totally relate to.
Not surprising, yeah.
So I then got a small team of customers together to be secret taste testing in the background. So I sent out several iterations of the blend. They would give me the feedback. I'd tweak it a little bit. It gets sent back out again. So the customers really have been fully involved in choosing and designing the flavour and which bit they wanted more of or not so much of. And then what we actually decided to do was to launch a crowdfunding campaign. And I did it a little bit differently. So we ran it through the website, and I didn't want my customers to feel that they were just giving money to me. It felt a little bit uncomfortable and a bit odd. So what we did was we arranged for it to be done on a pre-order, so people could pre-order the blend. And we also we started with 15 of my female founded friends, and of which Anna Marie was one of them, who gifted me something for the campaign. So Anne Marie actually gifted a day's breath work meditation session. And so customers could go on and they could choose. They could donate a little bit of money if they wanted to. They could pre-order the blend, and we had it in all varying sizes, or they could buy one of my friends' items. The money would go to raise the money for the packaging and the tea. And I had a target to raise £7,000, which I did not think was going to happen. And we raised just over £9,000 in 28 days. So I think my ladies really, really wanted this, and I took them on the whole journey. They were part of all the crowdfunding campaign. I took them behind the scenes, showing them how we were making it, getting it all ready, and then it launched in January.
Okay.
So she's just been around. So I'm hoping to get that out into the sample envelopes soon as well, and do some future taste testing. But so far the feedback has been super positive. You can have a little look at the reviews. It's very, very delicate. So it's a very, very gentle tea. It's not got one or two overpowering flavours. It's got a couple of ingredients in there. One is ginkgo biloba, and the other is called gotukula. And they are nootropic plants, and they are they're called brain tonic ingredients. They're known to help increase blood flow to the brain. So that's going to really help with those symptoms that ladies might be struggling with. And mostly the ladies seem to be drinking it in the afternoon to help them get through. So that's just a little information about that particular blend. Did you have any questions that I can answer?
No, I think you've covered just about everything. It's really interesting, and lovely blends, really delicious.
Well, I'm really glad that you chose to give up your Friday night. I'm sorry nobody else was here, but I'm quite glad it was just me and you.
Yeah, it's been really nice, and really nice to meet you. And I follow you on Instagram, so I'll.
Brilliant. So in your little sample envelope, you've got a little discount flyer in there.
Yes, I saw that, yeah.
So that will give you 25% off your first order on the website. So it will be for the box of 3. So you just go on, find the wellness collection, and you just put the little code in, and that will give you 25% off. It'll automatically add you to my emailing list. I'm doing a bit of a launch at the moment. You might see on Instagram when you go on there, I've got some things going on that we're doing that are top secret.
Yes, it said today, I think, on an email, didn't it? Something special is coming, and I thought, oh,
top secret. But I want you to know that those emails come from me.
Yeah.
So I don't have a marketing team. There isn't a finance director or anybody. It is me.
Yeah, good.
Sometimes my husband might get involved. He normally does website bits. So if you've ever got a question, you can always just hit reply, and I'll be on the other end to answer that for you.
Okay, thank you.
There are 14 tea bags in each box.
Okay.
And like I said earlier, play around with it. Some of them you can get a second cup out of, and you'll enjoy that. Others, I don't think it works so well with the relax blend. But have a little play around with that. And we offer on a subscription, which is the most cost effective in the long term. And you can do that every week up to every 12 weeks, whatever you want, everything in between. And you have full control over that on the website. So you can skip a month if you're on holiday. You can swap it if you find your body's needing more of one blend than the other. And like I say, just hit reply to any email, and I can help you out and answer any questions.
Thank you so much. Lovely to meet you.
Pleasure, Sally.
And I will get on and do some ordering.
Lovely. Enjoy your evening and bank holiday weekend, won't you? Yeah. Take care.
Yeah.
Lots of love. Bye.